Chensō Man's 47 devils are broken. Almost all of them have their own insane abilities and attributes, but they rarely get explained. So today, that's exactly what we're doing. In just a minute, we're going to go over some of the most powerful devils in the series. But first, we have to talk about our main protagonist, Denji. Denji is what we know as a hybrid. After dying in episode 1, he fused with Pochita to become the chainsaw hybrid. Hybrids are basically a combination of a living person and a devil. We do not know a ton about the origins of hybrids, but we do know a lot about Denji. Upon pulling the cord on his chest, Denji transforms into his Chensō Man form. In this form, chainsaws sprout from his arms and head. These are incredibly adept at destroying devils and honestly anything they come in contact with. But there is an issue. The chainsaws cut up Denji's arms, causing him to lose blood the longer they are out. This can be remedied by drinking the blood of humans or devils, and it doesn't take him too long to learn how to retract them either. Towards the end of season 1, Denji gains the ability to grow chainsaws out of his legs. And in the manga, during the Bomb Devil arc, Denji learns how to just use the chains from his chainsaws as well. We see him use the chains to handle beam like a horse and restrain the Bomb Devil. Throughout the entirety of part 1, it is heavily implied that Denji is immortal, but it's not confirmed until part 2, when we learn it's not just Denji that's immortal, but all the hybrids. Really, his only weak point is his lack of intelligence because he didn't really go to school until he was 16, but even with that drawback, he almost always comes out on top. Next, we are introduced to the Tomato Devil. The Tomato Devil is one of the weakest devils in the show. It died off screen and likely did not have any abilities, but it did clear the way for our next devil, the Zombie Devil. This is the first devil we see that is kind of powerful. It has the ability to turn people into zombies, and those zombies are forced to act as its servants. Like regular zombies, people who are bitten by the Zombie Devil's zombies turn into zombies themselves. These zombies can attack even when they're heavily injured, and it seems like the Zombie Devil can even revive corpses. It's also capable of human speech, which is a trait only possessed by decently strong devils, for the most part. There is one devil that seems really weak but is able to talk, and that's the Muscle Devil. The Muscle Devil is the only devil that was cut from the anime. It was featured in the second chapter of the manga, and in it, the devil was shown to have the ability to control any muscles it touches. We saw him use this to control a small child to bait Denji into helping her. Personally, I have no idea why this devil was strong enough to speak. I mean, who on earth is afraid of muscles? This was really early in the series, so I think the speaking abilities of devils might not have been fully thought out yet. Anyway, let's move to a devil that is actually important, the Blood Devil, aka Power. Power is also the first fiend we have to talk about. A fiend is basically a devil that has taken over the dead body of a human. This usually happens when a devil is in a weakened form, and while it will continue their life, fiends are significantly weaker than their devil counterparts. They also lack intelligence a lot of the time and can range from incapable of intelligent thought to being almost human. Power is the fiend of the Blood Devil, and as such has the ability to control blood in multiple ways. We have seen her create a hammer out of her own blood, which can be any size she needs. She can also create a blood spear and use blood that has been out of her body for a while if it is stored properly. On top of forming weapons, she can also heal people that she touches and transfer blood to others. This is only briefly touched upon in the anime, but it is much more important in the manga. Transferring blood to Denji allowed Power to live on inside of him after her death, and drinking Pochita's blood allowed her to fully reincarnate as the Blood Devil. In this form, she gains the ability to use Thousand Terror's Blood Rain, where Power can create spears and swords from the blood of the people around her, and she was even capable of resisting Makima's control, which shows just how strong the Blood Devil really is. Unfortunately, the next devil we are introduced to is way weaker. It's the Sea Cucumber Devil, which was one shot by Power. We don't really know anything else about this devil, so we're just gonna move on to the next one, which is the Bat Devil. The Bat Devil is exactly what you would expect. It's a fairly strong devil that is capable of speech and semi-intelligent thought. It is capable of flying with its wings and can smell people from very far away. The Bat Devil's only combat-based ability is expelling a blast of air from its mouth. This is quite strong, as it is capable of destroying a building. In the manga, we see the Bat Devil again during part 2, but it doesn't seem to have any different abilities, just a different appearance. Turns out even devils can find love, because next we have the partner of the Bat Devil, the Leech Devil. We don't know a ton about this one. It possesses all the normal devil abilities and has some pretty decent physical range as well due to its long arms, but the only notable attribute it has is its ability to use its tongue as a sharp weapon, which we saw pierce Denji's body with ease. Next is the Fox Devil. The Fox Devil is one of the most used devils for devil contracts. This is because it supposedly likes humans and as such is open to cooperation. Devil hunters say "ko" while aiming at an area that they want the fox to eat. Then the Fox Devil will manifest either as its head or as a paw. It seems like the head is the more powerful version of the fox, but it doesn't like the taste of hybrids, so there is a limitation. There's another limitation too if you're ugly, as the Fox Devil does not want to show its head for people that it doesn't find attractive. Next we see the Pig Devil, which is in the same boat as the Tomato and Cucumber Devil, so we're just gonna move on to another major antagonist, the Eternity Devil. This feels like the first really strong devil we see in Chensō Man. It has a few abilities that all revolve around creating a pocket dimension out of repeating space. While in this looping space, time stops so no one can rescue you from the outside. This can cause victims to die from hunger, thirst, or just go insane. The Eternity Devil is also capable of manifesting a physical form in this space, and this form can be huge. However, this engorged physical manifestation might be a result of eating a piece of the Gun Devil, as when we see it again in part 2, it does not have a piece of the Gun Devil and it is significantly smaller. Next up, we have the Cursed Devil, which is another contractable devil. The contract allows users to summon the Cursed Devil upon stabbing their opponent with a nail multiple times. Upon summoning, the Cursed Devil does a ton of damage to the victim, but we have yet to see it actually kill anyone. It's worth noting that not all stabs have to be made by the person with the contract, as we saw Santa Claus make a few stabs on Denji before having Tolka do the final one. Users of the Cursed Devil can also have different conditions to fulfill further contracts as well. Aki gave up some of his lifespan to be able to summon the Cursed Devil in 3 hits, and Santa Claus lost some sensation in her fingers upon using the nail in exchange for activation in 4 hits. While we're talking about spooky devils, we might as well talk about the Ghost Devil too. The Ghost Devil is yet another contractable devil under public safety. Normally, the devil allows the user to have an intangible extended arm. This arm can go through objects and turn invisible as well. It's like Force abilities from Star Wars, but super simplified. The Ghost Devil can also fully manifest for a large price. In this form, it fights with hundreds of hands. However, it can only sense things via fear, so it cannot use any of the 5 senses that we do. Next, we have the second hybrid we're introduced to, Katana Man. Katana Man is a human Katana Devil hybrid. Upon removing his hands, he can take his hybrid form where katanas sprout from his hands and head. Katana Man is a fairly adept fighter overall, holding his own against Denji twice, but his main strength comes from his special move where he kneels and zooms past the opponent faster than most can perceive. This allows him to do massive damage to almost all opponents while keeping himself safe, and makes him among the fastest devils in the show. Last we saw of him, he was getting kicked in the balls by Denji and Aki. Up next, we have the Snake Devil, which is pretty simple. The Snake Devil is capable of eating and throwing up other devils. Upon being spit up, it appears the devils are fully healed and can act independently of the snake and their previous contracts. The Snake Devil costs 1 fingernail per use, and there's also a condition in the contract that if the user was captured, they would die. Our next devil rules. The Future Devil is yet another contracted devil by public safety. It allows the user to see a few seconds into the future after they stick their head in the chest of the Future Devil so that it can see their future. This allows the devil to determine what they will have to pay for a contract. Normally, the Future Devil requires a large sacrifice to be contracted with, but if you have a particularly nasty future, it might let you off the hook with the condition that it lives in your eyes so it can watch you suffer. After Future, we're introduced to the Shark Devil, which we see as Beam, the Shark Fiend. In this form, Beam is capable of swimming through surfaces. He can also turn entirely into a shark for a short time, and do a partial transformation where he turns just his head into a shark's head as well. When I talk about fiends that lack intelligence, Beam is one that comes to mind. He lacks any and all critical thinking skills and really just likes Chensō Man. Around the same time, we're introduced to the Violence Devil as the Violence Fiend. This is a very strong fiend, to the point that he has to wear a gas mask pumping sedative gas into his lungs to keep him subdued. Violence seems to be quite competent at close combat even in this restricted form, as he beat multiple zombies with no issues. But it is in the manga that we get to see his full form released, and it is very strong. He was the only fiend that was able to come close to attacking the Darkness Devil, and in this form his limbs and overall body gets much thicker and muscular. He can also grow limbs out of his mouth for some reason, which does look a bit weird, but we gotta move on for now. Next we have the Angel Devil. The Angel Devil is one of the most interesting devils in my opinion. It doesn't have much in the way of offensive capabilities, but it can turn human lifespan into weapons. These weapons seem quite powerful at even just a couple of years of usage, and we've seen them scale all the way up to 1,000, which was pretty powerful. Angel gains this human lifespan by touching humans and stealing it. It drains pretty fast, as touching Aki for just a couple of seconds was enough to take 2 years off his life. The final devil we are introduced to in season 1 is the Spider Devil. Princey is another powerful public safety devil. She seems to be able to phase through walls like Beam, and her main method of attacking is stabbing people with her legs. She also seems to be highly intelligent and could even be interpreted as one of Makima's most important assets. This is further corroborated in the manga, as we see Princey is capable of summoning devils to hell by splitting her body in half. However, it does appear that this act kills her. With all the devils in season 1 complete, we're going to move into the manga, starting with the Bomb Devil arc. In this arc, we are only introduced to 3 devils, the first of which is the Typhoon Devil. The Typhoon Devil is the physical manifestation of a typhoon, and it is a decently powerful devil. It has the ability to create a storm by spinning its body. These storms are powerful enough to make cars fly through the air and even destroy buildings. On top of this, Typhoon can also communicate via water and summon regular rainstorms as well. It's also worth noting that it was the Typhoon Devil that killed Asa's parents. And now we finally get to the best girl in the series, Rize. Rize is a hybrid hybrid with the Bomb Devil. By pulling the pin on her neck, Reese transforms into her devil form. In this form, she can make her body parts explode on command, and these body parts do not have to be attached to her, as we saw her flick off pieces of her arm and use them as small explosives. She can also use her explosions to propel her through the air and make her human body explode after she's transformed. The only drawback to her ability is that she cannot explode as well when she's wet, but she makes up for this by having some of the highest battle IQ in the entire series. The last devil in the Bomb Devil arc is the Mold Devil. The Mold Devil allows users to grow mold in the body of their opponent. This seems like a pretty good ability as it can affect the usefulness of the heart and lungs, but we did only see it get used on Reese, so it's hard to say how effective it really is. Moving on to the International Assassins arc, we get started with the Skin Devil. This is a devil we never actually see, but it seems to have the ability to give the contractees fake faces. This was used by the three immortal brothers to copy the faces of dead public safety officers, but it didn't really do anything for them and they ended up dying anyways. Next is another major antagonist, this time the Doll Devil. Despite being one of the stronger antagonists, the Doll Devil has a very simple ability. Basically, it can turn anyone that it touches into a doll, which is 100% under its control. These dolls have the same ability, so it can turn mass amounts of people into dolls very quickly, but this ability does not work on devils, hybrids, or fiends. The Doll Devil can also create sophisticated dolls, which are basically dolls that think they're human and act as humans would. Near the end of the arc, it eats a small piece of the Darkness Devil, and in exchange, the Doll Devil gains the ability to heal infinitely at night. But we'll be talking more about the Darkness Devil in a little bit. In this arc, we are introduced to a number of fiends, but we only see a couple of their abilities. One has the ability to see devil contracts by using this eye thing, and one has the ability to breathe fire. At the time of recording, it is still unknown what devils these fiends are based on. Next, we have the Stone Devil. The Stone Devil is a contracted devil. Upon drawing an alchemy circle, the user can blow on an opponent, which will turn them to stone. This petrifies the victim, which also likely kills them. Next is the Octopus Devil, which is contracted with Yoshida. The Octopus Devil has three main abilities that we see. The first is that Yoshida can summon a tentacle to assist him. We saw him use this to save him from falling out a window after fighting Quan Chi, and it was also capable of killing a bunch of dolls at once. The second ability is to rescue people with this tentacle, as we saw in part 2 with Denji. And the third ability is the ability to spray ink as octopi do. There is a popular theory that Yoshida is the Octopus Devil as opposed to being contracted with it, but that's a video for another day. Next, we have one of the most underwhelming devils in the show, the Hell Devil. The Hell Devil has a huge sacrificial requirement in order to summon it, as it requires multiple lives to be ended even for it to just appear partially. We only saw it materialize 2 times. The first being in the International Assassins arc when it forced everyone in the department store into hell, and the second time was when the anti-Makima squad summoned it in order to attempt to kill Makima. It didn't work, and the devil subsequently got one-shot by Chensō Man. Now we come to what is likely the strongest devil we have met so far. It is the Darkness Devil. The Darkness Devil is the primal fear of darkness. Being a primal fear, it is currently unkillable by human means according to the Falling Devil, as the strength of their fear is ingrained deeply in humanity. As a result, primal devils are extremely powerful, and darkness is no exception. When the Darkness Devil appears, he is preceded by a display of dismembered astronauts and covers the area in darkness. Besides that though, its abilities seem to just center around hurting people, not really darkness itself. We don't have a formal name for its main ability, but the wiki considers it force manipulation. This ability allowed darkness to separate the arms of everyone in hell, make Angel bleed from his eyes and mouth, and destroy the Violence Devil with holes. It also acts as a force field, preventing Denji, Violence, and others from hitting him. He also has a giant sword he can summon, which will make whoever he stabs violently hemorrhage upon chiming the bell. And on top of all this, he can also summon devils straight into his hands to kill them instantly. The Darkness Devil single-handedly changed how we see power scaling in Chensō Man, as he absolutely obliterated some of the strongest characters in the show, and then he immediately dipped and we haven't seen him since. When will my love return? Next we have another strong devil. It's Quan Chi, aka the Crossbow Hybrid. By pulling an arrow out of her eye, Quan Chi can transform into her weapon form. In this form, Quan Chi is able to fire multiple arrows and even create a buckshot for closer enemies. To be honest though, I think her human form is almost more impressive. She's among the best at close combat in the show. She easily overpowered everyone that opposed her in the department store, including Kishibe and Yoshida, and she even one-shot 3 of the other hybrids in the most recent chapter. But she's probably not quite as powerful as one of her fiends, Cosmo, the Cosmos Devil. This devil was the last to be introduced in the International Assassins arc, and it has one of the coolest abilities in the show. Upon saying Halloween, the target is transported into the mind of Cosmo. Once inside, the victim has a conversation with the Cosmos Devil, and upon completion, all the information in the universe is stuffed into their brains, which puts them in a catatonic state. This results in the victim only being able to say Halloween for the rest of their lives until they die. Moving into the Gun Devil arc, we have, well, the Gun Devil. The gun devil is yet again one of the strongest devils in the show. Its ability surrounds bullets and it is able to shoot people with perfect precision under certain conditions. These conditions seem completely arbitrary and only exist to prevent the devil from destroying everything. They can be pretty much anything from the month the victim is born in to the gender of the victim to their age. The gun devil is among the fastest in the show. As a result, pieces of its body break off when it moves. These pieces are held by multiple countries across the world, and when they are absorbed by devils, they seem to grow in power. After being defeated by Makima, the gun devil takes the form of a fiend. This version takes the body of Aki and is much weaker than the devil form, but it is still pretty strong, as it destroys buildings and injures Denji with almost no effort at all. Technically, the next devil we're introduced to is the Control Devil, but I think it makes more sense to talk about the Control Devil in the Control Devil arc. So let's move on to the Punishment Devil. The Punishment Devil is a devil we only kind of see. We never see it individually, but we know it was possessed by Tendo and Kurose, and it was used in the attack on the Gun Devil. Now we come to the final arc of part 1, the Control Devil arc, where we are introduced to a good number of devils. The first of which being the Control Devil, aka Makima. Makima is probably the strongest non-primal devil, to the point that there is no country on Earth even trying to resist her by the Control Devil arc. Her main ability is the ability to control anyone and anything that she sees as below herself. This includes humans, hybrids, fiends, devils, and animals. If she doesn't see herself as above someone or is unsure that she is stronger than someone, she can prove it by beating them in a fight. Once someone is under her control, she is able to use their abilities as well, as we saw with Angel and others during the fight against the Gun Devil. It even seems like she can control and use dead people as well, which is a whole nother level of craziness. The degree of Makima's control over someone can vary as much as she wants it to, as we have seen her literally bend people to her will and let people act more freely while influencing them like Riz and Quan Shi. Makima's control also extends to the senses of animals she controls, as she is able to borrow the ears and eyes of small critters to spy on others. She also has the ability to kill anyone that she knows by name if she has a body to trade with, as we saw her do in season 1. This falls under the second category of her abilities, which seems to be controlling some invisible force. We mainly see this used via Bang, where she points her fingers at a target and some invisible force does massive damage to it. This was capable of damaging the Darkness Devil, sending Chensō Man into space, and killing power instantly. In addition to all these offensive capabilities, Makima also has a contract with the Prime Minister of Japan, who agreed to turn any damage done to her into equivalent damage done across the population of Japan. She's also hot. In total, she's died 29 times, and I believe 26 of those times were at the hands of Chensō Man, who we will be talking about in a second, but first we have to talk about some of the other hybrids. In the same arc, we are introduced to the Whip Hybrid, Flamethrower Hybrid, and Spear Hybrid, all of whom were under Makima's control. These, along with the others we mentioned earlier, make up the Weapons Devils, but we don't know a ton about these specific ones right now. They seem to be playing a much bigger role in part 2, but they also just got diced up by Quan Chi, so it's hard to say exactly how strong they are. And the last devil we are introduced to in part 1 is Chensō Man, aka Pochita, aka the Hero of Hell. Pochita has 3 main abilities. The first and most important one is the ability to erase devils that he eats from existence. This makes the fear and everything related to it completely disappear from the past, present, and future. These fears are forgotten by even the most powerful devils over time, but it's not an omnipotent power. The War Devil believes that she can make Pochita spit up the Nuclear Weapons Devil, implying that the erased devils are not digested, just trapped in Chensō Man's body. This means the fears can potentially be restored if Yoru is correct. The second ability is the ability to fuse with humans. This is a much more passive ability, but it was used via a contract at the beginning of the series to save Denji's life. And the third is Pochita's enhanced combat capabilities. When fully manifested, Pochita is one of the strongest devils in the show, boasting 4 chainsaw arms which Pochita is quite capable at using. We saw Pochita use chains to ensnare opponents, one-shot the Hell Devil, and even kick its own heart back down to earth in order to survive an attack from Makima. Chensō Man is without a doubt a monster of a fighter, and it makes sense why Pochita was able to hold their own against all 4 horsemen and the weapons devils at once. Now let's move into part 2 with our first devil, Bucky. Bucky is the chicken devil, and as such, he's pretty weak. As a result, Bucky decided to try and ally with humans in the hopes that it would help him live a little bit longer. Unfortunately, all it resulted in was his death because Asa accidentally killed him. As a result of Bucky's death, Asa gets killed and her body gets taken over by the war devil, Yoru. Yoru is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and as such, she has some pretty powerful abilities. Her main ability is turning anything into a weapon. This could be a spinal cord, a hand, a ruler, literally anything. But there is a caveat. The more Asa cares about an item, the stronger the weapon becomes. So her clothing weapon was extremely powerful because it was an outfit she held closely to her. And the same goes for the aquarium trident. It's worth mentioning that the war devil we see is in a weakened state, as I a part of her was eaten by Chensō Man, which means less wars happened overall, further weakening her strength. Yoro is also kind of dumb if we're being honest. Like, every one of her plans is just not super well thought out, and she doesn't seem to understand humans all that well either. And it's not like she's able to get any help from Asa in that department either. Around the same time, we are introduced to the Justice Devil. We don't know a ton about the Justice Devil right now. It's more of a shadowy figure influencing 4th Street High School than anything else. It made a contract with both the class president and Yuko, who at this point in time have been defeated. It seems like Justice is also playing a part in the Church of Chensō Man, but beyond that we don't know a ton about it. Every devil contract it has made has been different, with the central theme of justice. And it also apparently has mind-reading capabilities, which means it's probably a pretty strong devil. Next is the Cockroach Devil, which is when we see Denji fight very briefly. It seems really big, but overall not that strong. The final horseman we are introduced to is Famine. Famine is still mostly mysterious to us, but we do know her main ability, which is enslavement. Anyone who experiences starvation turns into a pawn for her bidding. This works on literally anyone, including primal fears and likely other horsemen, as she did plan to starve Yoru as well. Famine also seems like she can just teleport wherever she wants, as she randomly appeared inside Yoru and Asa's apartment even though the door was locked. This mostly seems like a comedic bit, but considering how she does show up everywhere, it might be a legitimate power that she has. And the most recent primal devil we have been introduced to is the aforementioned Falling Devil. The Falling Devil has the ability to, well, make people fall. To be more precise, the Falling Devil has control over gravity. She can manipulate whatever she likes, and we have seen her use it to destroy entire buildings by reversing gravity on that area. This gravity shifting ability can affect other parts of the world too, as after her appearance, tsunamis and earthquakes were recorded across the globe. Falling can also use this reversal ability on people, but with a twist. People who are more traumatized fall faster. All the people she makes fall upwards towards a door to hell, where they are presumably eaten by her guests. She can enhance this ability by forcing victims to relive traumatic experiences and then magnify these feelings as well. Lastly, for some reason, she also has the ability to fire off this enormous beam of energy, which she used to instantly kill this devil. Speaking of which, this is the last devil we have to talk about. We still don't know what exactly this thing is. It was really strong and had the ability to reshape its body, but besides that, we don't really have any information on it. Most people speculate it might be like the Sex Devil or something similar, but that has yet to be confirmed. And that's every devil in Chensō Man explained. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you already are, maybe check out another video or use a membership, but no pressure on that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week for another video.